So, what is a scatter plot? A scatter plot is a graph used to determine if there's a relationship between paired data, that is the x and the y. Scatter plots can show trends in real life data. So scatter plots are used to take two variables to see if there is something that creates a trend. For example, a very popular one, very easy one to understand would be, is there a is there a trend between a person's height and a person's weight? And as it turns out, the shorter you are, the less you weigh. And the taller you are, the more you weigh. It's never perfect though, right? If I weigh a lot, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm really tall. There is a tendency that says if I weigh a lot, that I'm fairly tall, and on the flip side, that if I'm fairly tall, I tend to weigh a lot. However, it's never perfect, right? That's why there's all these data points that kind of create a general trend, but not perfect, okay? And so that's what we're doing here, is we're taking these scatter plots of real life data. And so here's a couple of vocabulary words. These are words we use to describe it. The first is a positive correlation, and that means that the trend, the y increases as the x increases. An example of that would be something like this. As x increases, right, x increases, the y is increasing. The y is increasing. We call that a positive correlation. The height-weight thing is a positive correlation. A negative correlation is where as y decreases, x is increasing. X increases. We call that a negative correlation. So as the x is getting bigger, the y is then getting smaller. Notice that it's going down and to the right, whereas positive correlation goes up and to the right. And then finally we have no correlation, which is a lack of any type of trend, meaning that if I look at a scatter plot, I just kind of have dots everywhere. Like there's no particular, it's not like I can say as y is increasing, x is increasing, because it's just spread. It kind of looks like a person sneeze on a graph, right? So like, here's a person. This is ready for my drawing of a person. They're like, they sneezed all over it, and then they just kind of put stuff everywhere, right? That's totally a person. Like, there's an eye and everything. So it's like a sneeze, right? It's just totally spread out. There's no trend to it. Okay. So, how do we describe correlation? There's a couple of questions on your Canvas. Please go and answer those, and we'll do them.